you ever lost anything on the underground, say like your keys? This video could be for you with the release of a new Apple product. This is an AirTag. It uses Bluetooth, not GPS, as we'll discuss later, to let you find things. And what I'm wondering is if you lost something on the tube, on the underground, on a platform, does the Wi-Fi that exists on the underground detect these and give you the location? Today, we're gonna find out. But to make this work, I'm gonna need some assistance, so I've employed, by which I mean asked to turn up for free, my tech friend, David, to help me with this. Mr. David McClelland.
Hello, how you doing?
Tech journalist extraordinaire.
We're going to do a thing, Jeff. What are we going to do?
Okay, I've just sanitized it.
Okay.
So would you like to...
Thank you for that.
We'll do the handoff.
Here we are.
Just for a laugh, I got a prop of some child's keys that I thought you could have. So let's pretend those are my keys.
Okay.
But I haven't actually attached the AirTag to the keys. The challenge is that you're going to take my fake keys and my AirTag.
Yep.
And starting at King's Cross, I'm going to give you a 20 minutes head start.
Okay.
And you're going to go to any random Zone 1 tube station without telling me.
Okay.
I don't know where you're going. And then in 20 minutes time, I'm going to use the Find My app on my phone and see if the Wi-Fi on the underground has geolocation built in. And because you've only got your Android phone, not your iPhone won't detect it. We're reliant on other people's Apple devices underground to report in where my iTag is and where you are. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, and I'm going to put all of my other Apple devices, including my Apple Watch, onto airplane mode as well, just to make sure that there's no sneaky Apple magic with another non-iPhone device that might be helping to locate this. 20 minutes, Jeff. I don't know that people's iPhones on the underground, first of all, they would need to be connected to the Wi-Fi on the underground, which I don't think many people's are necessarily going to be automatically. So yeah, I think it's as well that we set a time limit, maybe an hour, I don't know, so 5 o'clock.
Meet back here.
Let's meet back here.
If I don't see you, then here at 5.
All right.
I hope.
Mask on. Right, so I've just left Jeff upstairs. Let's take a look at which station to go to. I'm at King's Cross, St Pancras at the moment. I think I'm going to make it a little bit interesting and head down to Monument. Plenty of platforms here for him to get lost. Here we go, going deep down on the Northern Line. I've got 20 minutes to get as far away from him as I can.
So it does work when out in the wild, because as David moved across the King's Cross concourse to head for the tube, it's reporting that it's not with me, but it's on the concourse at King's Cross. But will it work when he's on a tube platform? He thinks not. I think it might. This is exciting. I'm checking on my phone. What there is, you can use the built-in Find My Phone app, which for years, Apple iPhone and iPad users have been able to see the location of their friends who choose to share their locations and your other devices, but they all use GPS. What's interesting about the AirTags is that they don't use GPS, they just use what Apple refer to as the Find My network and are reliant on other Bluetooth devices. You know what? Whilst I wait for David, here is David back in his tech studio to explain the pros and cons of AirTags.
Apple AirTags help iDevice users to locate something that they've lost. And there are 3 main technologies inside. First of all, good old Bluetooth. So if you're within shouting distance of your AirTag, then this will help you to find it with a few quick bleeps. Very simple. If it's not close by, then it still uses Bluetooth to tell you where it is, but this time by connecting to other nearby people's Apple devices, which securely and without them ever knowing, relay your AirTag's location back to you. Now, the clever bit here is that there's no GPS in here. It uses the location from other nearby people's Apple devices to tell you where it is. And that location, it just appears in a map on your phone. Other products, they do a similar thing. Tile is the big example there, but the advantage that Apple has is scale. There are 1 billion or more iPhones that are out there, all creating this comprehensive Find My mesh network. Also in here is ultra wideband. So if you have a phone with a U1 chip, iPhone 11 or newer, then this gives you precision finding. It's like localized GPS on steroids, and it directs you to within a few centimeters of your AirTag. And finally, NFC. So if you find an AirTag that isn't yours, then tap it onto your NFC enabled phone. And this works on Android too, and it'll give you information that might help you to get this back to its owner. AirTags have strong privacy and anti-stalking measures too, but do they work on the underground? So here's me at Bank, only a handful of stops away from Jeff. It's taken, 20 minutes or so for me to get here, so that means Jeff's going to be setting off any moment now.
Yeah, it's coming to 4:20. I'm having a drink, but it has not moved.
Unfortunately, there are no seats here, so let's see if there are any on this platform.
It's still saying my keys are here on the concourse of King's Cross. No, it's just moved. Hang on. It just disappeared.
So I tell you what, to make life easy for Jeff, I'm just going to hang around on the platform here.
I didn't set that up. As I said that, so the little key symbol was showing at King's Cross, and as I was recording, it dropped off.
You know, this would be the platform he'd be coming in on, so at least he might see me and not have to go routing around one of the platforms. I don't want to make life too difficult for him.
My other plan is I'm going to go to the Tube platform and attach a log on to the Wi-Fi in case being on Tube Wi-Fi helps rather than use my 4G signal.
But a lot of people are down here on their phones connected to the Wi-Fi. I saw a couple of people stood only a couple of meters away from me. In theory, the AirTag will have been able to connect to their phones.
Hang on, before I do, it's worked. Can you see? It says it's at Bank. He's gone to Bank. I need to get to Bank. See, the trouble is I don't think I'm going to make it in time. David, I'm coming to get you at Bank. Let's go. So he's clearly taken the Northern Line, southbound from King's Cross to Bank. But I've got to get there before 4:45 and it's 4:23 now. I've got just over 20 minutes to get there and find him. I know the position of the Northern Line platforms underground, and the Northern Line platforms run down Lombard Street, and it's saying the keys are at the entrance exit to the Northern Line platforms at Bank on Lombard Street. So I think he's on the Northern Line platforms that are under Lombard and not the Central. David, you could have been sneaky and changed to the Central Line platforms. I know where you are. I'm coming to find you.
The next station is Bank. There are minor delays. I'm in London.
Look what I can see! Look who I found!
And there it is!
At Bank Station! Found you, my friend! Literally found you. Shall we do the wise thing? And let's go up to the surface.
Upstairs. Good work, Jeff.
So we've come out at Bank. You didn't think it was going to work. Why not?
Well, like I say, because we were underground and, you know, GPS doesn't work underground. But the thing that I forgot, and I realised as soon as I got on the platform at Bank, was I was stood there, busy platform, everyone had their phones out, everyone was connected to the Wi-Fi, and through Wi-Fi you can get a location lock. I did not think that would work underground, but it did. What did you see? When was the first time you started to see me where I was at Bank?
I was having a drink up on the concourse of King's Cross, and it disappeared. And I went, oh, it's moved, it's disappeared, and then 20 seconds later you reappeared and it said very clearly Lombard Street, and that just must mean that the Wi-Fi on the underground does have the all-important geolocation function built into them, no?
But the thing is that you obviously have a very in-depth knowledge of street names versus London Underground stations. The average person who may have lost their handbag or their phone or their keys.
But it showed that you're at Bank.
Well, it showed that I was at Lombard Street. How would the person have known that that was Bank Station and which platform I might have been on?
Right, yeah. It could have been up on the surface at Lombard Street, or down on the tube platforms.
Or up in the air.
But to answer the title to the question that's in the video, clickbait, do AirTags work on the London Underground? Yes!
Sort of, but would it have helped you to find your AirTag in the real world?
It totally works. Thank you very much.
Oh, and your keys, don't forget your keys.
Thank you very much. Well, in all amusingness, I'm going to give this to David to take home back to the Midlands, and I'm going to see if I can track you as you go home today on the train. But in one other amusing twist, thanks to Sell Apple, AirTags, they cost $29.95 to buy.
Yep.
if you buy the official leather key fob to attach it to your keyring, that costs $34.95. So the accessory costs more than the gadget itself.
It does. This is one of the cheapest gadgets, if not the cheapest gadget really, that Apple does. Yet actually I think there's an awful lot of fun that you can have with it.
David, would you like to plug your YouTube or your Twitter, or where can people find you, etc.?
Well, you can find Jeff and I talking together semi-regularly on the Fraculous podcast. Link below. You can find me on Twitter at David McClelland. Yeah, find me there. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks, David. See you soon. Bye. Press subscribe. It worked!